This will shock you to the core.
Finally, another podcast about
Godzilla!
and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, Chris Chikini and Chris Casares.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Odo Island. Welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. I am Smooth Chris, henceforth to be known as Kess from Odo Island. I'm changing names. I'm changing brands.
Well, I'm still Slick Chris.
Yeah, you're so slick. The turtle who spent half the movie in the bathtub.
Oh.
That's my favorite part of the movie. I want to get that figure from NECA.
I was like, I mean, I can't rebrand as my musical. Well, I was going to use a term that's not right. My musical client, who I'm an advocate for, Shusuke Jr., has rebranded officially as DC Jr.
Okay.
It rolls off the tongue a little bit easier than that convoluted last name. But no, I'll still be Slick going forward. So
Yeah, you have no reason. You have a cool name. I don't know. Smooth seemed. I don't know. It doesn't suit me. You know.
yeah. Are you going to launch your own KS cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Now with this rebranding,
It's Cascoin, and it's available on Rally.
we are recording this just an hour after AEW superstar Maxwell Jacob Friedman has launched his own cryptocurrency, of which we both invested in prior to any record. So if this podcast doesn't exist in 2 weeks because we got rich off of that,
Yeah.
we're basking
Sorry,
in retirement.
pores.
We're basking in retirement. He's like, hey, he's like, I piss on your Bitcoin.
Yeah. He was just like, Bitcoin, nope. Dogecoin, nope. And then he was like, my Bitcoin is better than yours, and you know it.
Yep, that's boy. For those of you who watch wrestling, particularly AEW, you would have just really enjoyed that last like 30 seconds. Because oh boy, what a world!
Yeah, we live in a world where wrestlers can have cryptocurrencies, and I can change my name at will.
Ken, I will do a thing you didn't do. You can follow us on Twitter
Oh my god,
at Odo Island Pod.
I'm so flustered today.
We listen.
I'm not prepared for this.
We get back in person, and all of a sudden, my brain works normal again.
Maybe I'm some sort of octagonal diagonalizer for you.
So that's a good. This is the first time we're going to do a news segment in like 3 episodes because there's like actual news, which we'll say we won't get into it in any detail. But Singular Point did end this week in Japan.
Yep.
You and I kept up with the series, but I think we both agreed that we weren't going to like talk about it till it launches in America.
Was all a dream.
No, it wasn't. Will you stop? But we will do we'll do an episode on it. So it launches in America next week. If it's like they put the whole series up in one day, which I would assume they're going to do,
Yeah.
then we'll probably do the episode like sooner.
That's what I want them to do.
Yeah, then we can get to it like sooner rather than later. We can do it like in a few
just so
weeks.
I can watch the ones I liked.
Oh, I liked it all. But so that will be our most controversial episode of this summer. Will be that.
It's only going to be controversial because I'll be a heel, and I'll be a great heel because I believe what I'm saying.
I guess we can also big market tease that we will have our 2-year anniversary later this summer.
Yep.
And we will do another drinking game episode, but we won't be doing it to a different movie. We're just going to do Godzilla vs. Ghidorah again.
Yeah, but this time, instead of recording our thoughts afterwards, we're just going to watch the movie, and you're going to be with us on the journey of us getting drunker as we go.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be...
So what you could do is listen to the first, 5 minutes of the original Heater episode, then listen to this episode, and then go back and listen to the rest of the episode.
Yes.
That's the game plan.
Yeah. Ghidorah is officially the anniversary. The anniversary episode.
And then when we're not talking about Ghidorah, he's just hanging out with the docs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that works. I didn't 100% get that reference, but
You will. You will.
oh, okay, I understand now. But
would I be serious?
But other news that I guess really only I can talk about is we got a brand new Godzilla video game this week.
I saw.
Godzilla Battle Line, after all this anticipation of completing. Let me take a step back. So a couple months ago, Toho announced a new trilogy, one to rival the anime Godzilla trilogy in terms of fan appreciation. And I'm saying that as someone who really likes the anime trilogy, but I went for the easy joke there.
It's a good joke.
I went for the easy joke. And so have you downloaded any of the trilogy mobile games, what we'll call them?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't really play mobile.
Okay. I do, because when I'm not working remotely, I have a very long public transportation commute to work. Because I work downtown of our respective, well, whatever. People know we live in Massachusetts. In Boston, I have a long commute from the burbs to Boston. And so I have to have something on my phone to keep me entertained. Because that train is a little too tight to like have like a Switch or even like a, DS or something like that. So anyway, all right. So a year ago, there was Earth Defense Force. That game was hot garbage. You literally just tap the phone to shoot missiles at a monster. You literally did nothing but tap. Just tap, 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 tap. How fast could you tap?
Give it a little tappy.
It was the worst. But then Toho announced a trilogy of games as part of like some like initiative, which started with like, I talked about like on Twitter. The first one was like this like weird running Godzilla game where it's like
Is that the Prey game?
Yes. And like, so you're on this weird island and your like tutorial characters are called Adam and Evie, or it's not Adam and Eve. It's like Adam and like Evie, or I think it's whatever. It's that. I played it for like a day and I was like, what is this? Like, and it's like, they're just like, you have to like pray to your kaiju to make him grow and run faster. And then you have to spend money on this in-game currency to make him run faster. And I was like, and it's like there's typos everywhere. It looks like it was like made for like $2. Garbage. There was or as I said on Twitter, it comes from hell to steal 212 megabytes from your phone to give to the devil and avoid that trash. Then Godzilla Destruction came out, which actually isn't bad. It's still like a budget game, but it's like it's pretty much like you maneuver Godzilla around like with your thumb to like avoid like missiles, and the goal is like you're like in a city area and you blow up all the buildings and you get points, but then like you fire like you can have like an automatic like attack system. It's like you kind of like maneuver Godzilla like around whatever the projectiles, and then you shoot a ray at them. It seems fine, but it's very basic and cheap looking.
Okay.
But then we Godzilla Battle Line was the golden child of this. This is the I'm trying to think of like a trilogy that culminates in something fantastic. But
Turtles 3.
That's what this is supposed to be.
No,
and so
that was the worst one.
So their Facebook page and Twitter page said that on the first day, halfway through the first day of this being released, 250,000 people have downloaded this game and we're playing it. And it's not bad. It's not good. It's like basically like you have a command character, like which is for most people has been Godzilla, and then it's like you kind of like you have like a timer, and as that timer goes up, it's almost like kind of like growing your mana, right? And it's like, oh, you have this many mana, you can summon this ally to help you, and then you accrue more, you can summon this ally to help you. And it's basically like you're kind of launching your weapons and allies against an opponent in real time. I like that. It's player versus player in real time. And basically you're just trying to knock the other person out. And then like as time goes by, your two command characters like walk closer to each other. And your command character like has like a special attack that's like really strong. So ultimately it's like when time starts to get really low, your command character is in range to like use your special on your opponent. And you can like basically kind of like wipe them out if you're just faster on the draw with that. So like it's kind of fun, but it's like it's very apparent that this is like you're gonna have to pay to win
Yeah.
pretty quickly, or like the people who are paying to win are going to just dominate this game because like it's one of those games that's like, you know, you want any you want to summon monsters from like your summon expedition map, whatever they call it. Like, oh well, that'll take 3 hours unless you want to watch like 5 ads, or you want to pay like some of the in-game currency towards it. Oh, you're out of the in-game currency. Well, do you want to buy some, or do you want to watch about like 20 more ads that are all about like a minute long a piece?
Jesus.
And that's just like the way like mobile games are. But I'm spoiled because like I play Fire Emblem Heroes, which like doesn't do any of that shit, and it's like you have to spend like a dime in that game to be competitive with the whales, as they say.
I'm just not into the whole mobile scene at all.
Yeah.
So,
but I just thought that was topical because that came up this week.
no, yeah. Like the games I've been playing lately have been like all the Doom games and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to deal with any of that ad bullshit.
Yeah,
I just get my super shotgun and shoot at the revenants.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing Madden Ultimate Team, which is what I think this is like a stone's throw away from. But I guess you haven't got to the. You're not playing Madden Ultimate Team.
Is different though, because you're just basically doing like drills. Like it's like drills in a real game. Like you'll be put in a situation where it's like score a touchdown in the first half, score 3 passing touchdowns in the game.
So you're not doing the online component of Madden Ultimate Team.
I'm not a PvP guy. I don't like to rate myself against others.
Gotcha.
I don't want to be disappointed by the results.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was gonna say like the Madden Ultimate Team online and people like who spend money for it getting sidetracked, but like also kind of getting back to like what this game is ultimately going to be. It's going to be people just dumping hundreds of dollars into the game. Because if you spend like I don't know, $100 like in the first week, you're gonna blow everybody away and you're gonna go up the rankings. I mean, I don't know what you're actually gonna get out of that personally, but
a sense of self-superiority.
I guess, yeah. But that's what it is. So there you go. That was the there was the news segment.
This was the news. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a mobile gaming guy, but it sounds like it's a real nightmare.
There's if you don't spend any money and don't mind that you're going to hit a wall probably at some point competitively, it's fun for what it is. There's a lot of like you start off basically with a team that's like Godzilla 89, Anguirus 55, Mechagodzilla 93, and some other like miscellaneous things. And then it's like as you start to level up, you can get Godzilla Ultima and like Mothra and like Gigan. Like there's a lot of like fan service nods in it. Sure. And so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be like a thing that you know, has a heyday for about like 6 months, and then like it's gonna be one of those things where they say like in a year they're shutting the service down.
Yeah.
So that's
they just need to remake those old Atari games with the fighting, like this Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, Godzilla versus I thought you meant the old. There's an old Atari game that's called Godzilla against 3 monsters.
This was when like Atari was making games.
The Pipeworks Atari games.
Pipeworks,
yeah.
Those were fun. Like maybe not a remake, maybe just make a new version of that.
Yes. 100%. You got it so right with that.
All right. I mean, like, just make a big roster, a big area to fight in. I liked how you were kind of stuck with your opponent at a certain distance. Like, they couldn't just run away infinitely from the fight. They had to, like, stay within a certain range of you. But, yeah, those are pretty much, like, the only Godzilla games that I'll ever go back and play.
Those are kind of the only ones that are worth going back and playing.
I've gone back and played like the Super Nintendo and the TurboGrafx games, and like they're fun, but these are so much better.
I like the puzzle game that's like on the Game Boy, but that's a puzzle game. I want like a Godzilla game that's a Godzilla game. I like the PS3 PS4 one is like, I don't know, it's all right. It succeeds in being a 90s Godzilla movie sim almost too well.
The best thing about that game was like all the monster intros.
Yeah. It's got some, just very, very repetitive. That is the problem with it. It's very repetitive.
It just didn't look like it was very fun to control. It looked like very slow.
It's tank controls, yeah. And that's what I mean. It's
like, I don't mind tank controllers, but I just don't like the pacing of like a slow game where you're really struggling to move.
It's they do, like I said, they do a great job of getting all the kaiju like movie accurate.
Yeah.
But like again, like it feels like it's like a '90s, like the '90s Godzilla movies. The battles are slow. It's a lot of standing away from each other, shooting arrays at each other.
I saw you play a 3-way online match once. You were burning Godzilla, another person was burning Godzilla, and then you were playing like Destroyer or someone like
Yeah.
that. Too. Like,
That's the thing too, is like those characters like really unbalanced. Like
Yeah.
Burning Godzilla is like very overpowered. Legendary Godzilla is overpowered. Kiryu's overpowered. And basically, if you don't use any of them like online, then like, yeah, I mean, like you're just gonna get your ass whipped. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the because like it's just like their attacks are just like nothing's balanced. Nothing is balanced
Yeah.
at all. So
And that was sort of like the fault of that game. Was it just like once you got away from the characters, it just the whole game itself looked really like cheap. Like like destroy the reactor, fight this
Yeah.
monster, destroy the reactor. Like it got so to the point where you just like there could be like you could have like a city destruction sequence where you're trying to destroy as much of the city as you can.
You level up your character by doing that, but like what I don't like is that like the only mode you have for offline is you have the single player campaign mode, which is like basically destroying the reactors, and then like the only other mode is called like God of Destruction. It's like basically you pick a kaiju and then like you fight 6 random kaiju in a row, and the goal is like it's like a time rush, but like that game would be 100 times better if you could do like an offline you versus one bot, or a 3-way match or a 4-way match. Like
It'd be better if you had like a really nice, like a well-built city for modern consoles or PC, and then like your first person Godzilla, or your first person a monster that's about to fight Godzilla. I think that would be really cool because then you could see like your breath coming out and like see what it's doing firsthand. Like, and you're at that really high angle where like you're super tall,
Yeah.
and like you're just destroying all
cool.
these like little tiny things around you. Like I've seen another game do it in third person. I forget what it was called, but like you're
the Dreamcast one.
no, I've seen that, but it's a newer game. You're like a yellow Godzilla knockoff, basically. It's like
Oh, I don't know
it's
what
like a
that is.
cutesy looking game. I forget what it was called, but like it's basically you're just running around destroying things.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It looked alright. It looked fun enough, but it looked like it could have been done better, and if it was like more realistic, and if you made it like actually Godzilla
Yeah. Well, maybe someday.
someday. Not
Instead,
today,
we'll get some mobile games.
But anyways, enough of our yakking. What do you say we get to the topic at hand?
Yes, which is not a Godzilla movie.
Yeah. We have to get our Godzilla shit in somehow. 'cause
That's
it's,
right.
Look at the name of the podcast. But this week we watched Gamera 2, Attack of Legion. And I don't know. This is the second movie in that trilogy of 90s Gamera movies. And you built this up to me as people call this the greatest kaiju movie of all time.
No, not this one. The next one.
Oh, okay.
The next one. But
Okay.
this trilogy is kind of collectively kind of known as like, this is the greatest kaiju trilogy of all time. But the next movie that we're going to watch, Revenge of Iris, a lot of people have always kind of held as like this could be the best kaiju movie of all time.
Okay.
But so these movies are directed by Shusuke Kaneko, who's the guy that directs GMK.
Yeah.
And I think he also helps write GMK, but he doesn't help write this movie, but he does help write the next movie. And so you, as the biggest GMK fan on the planet,
I'm the Jimk boy.
I'm always interested to know your view on this this trilogy. So
I could definitely see that stylistically they're pretty similar. They're not directed the same way as like other movies are in the Godzilla universe. There's more of like I feel like there's more appreciation for like the shot in these types of movies. Like
yeah.
there's a scene where the Little Legion are sort of just emerging in the subway area, and it looks really bad, but it had to be in there because you had to see how like creepy they were, like how they were working.
Yeah, they're kind of like weird. I guess they're kind of stop motion-y
Yeah.
marionettes, kind of.
Yeah. But it looked bad, but you needed it for the shot, and I think that's what GVK, GMK. They're too similar. I'm gonna do that a lot. That's what GMK, like when Ghidorah flies up with the city, it reminded me of that. Like it doesn't look good, but like you need it because it's like if this looked good, it would be the greatest thing ever.
Sure. So I guess I don't actually have much by way of background for this because I feel like this movie just kind of came into existence without too much of a story behind it because they're just like, well, a game regarding the universe ended up being a massive hit for a fraction of the money that Godzilla movies cost. So let's just see if we can replicate that.
Yeah.
And so this is 1996 now. So Godzilla vs. Destroy is 1995.
Yeah.
There is no Godzilla movies to compete with, none on the horizon until that TriStar one comes looming. So,
well, you know, the U.S. people say that it's Godzilla, but our experts have their doubts.
And
that's GMK's.
That's a good GMK reference.
That's GMK's. We need Kong. The world needs him.
Take a drink. But so again, we get another Gamera movie. With again made for a fraction of the budget of what the Godzilla movies were being made for at this time, but again, making a bunch of money at the box office and being a hit. And I still remember, like, again, everyone going like, "Oh, Gamera Guardian the Universe is like that was the greatest monster movie ever." Now this one comes out. This is the greatest one ever. I remember this used to be my favorite one of the trilogy, which I think is a controversial take when we get to the next one.
I definitely saw some other people say it's one of their favorite movies. So
I don't think
it's as controversial as you might think.
Oh well, you can't speak ill of Revenge Virus. So, but spoiler, I am going to when the time comes. My complaints with Iris are not about it being a bad movie. I have issues with the story.
Okay,
I'll say. But
I've never seen it, so I don't know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
I know. I like this. You're going in fresh to these. I like this. So, so yeah, this was like so. It kind of like struck me. I guess we can like kind of like walk through the movie because like it starts with, as you texted me the other night, like, oh, they're like it's a lot of snow early on in this movie.
Yeah, you very rarely get a snowy monster movie.
Yeah, and so the Legion come to Earth through, meteorites, like, and kind of jumping ahead, like those small legions are like they're kind of seeking out like how 90s cell phones, pagers, energy given off by trains and stuff like that. And it actually kind of struck me that I was like, these are kind of like a much more blatant knockoff of being Destroyer, like in Destroyer's like earlier forms than I kind of remember them being.
I don't think they look like Destroyer at all. They have a very unique design. They look like little triangles.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean in appearance, but I kind of meant like in like the way like that early form of Destroyer is like kind of like running around and like kind of siphoning out like its energy source and stuff like that. And I was like, we're only like a year removed from Destroyer, and I don't remember. It was like how in the 90s it was like, how dare you like could say like this is anything like Godzilla versus Destroyer, like this is such the superior movie. And I remember like I was like that like almost seems like kind of lifted from some early scenes in Godzilla versus Destroyer.
I don't know if it was lifted because they're made pretty close together. But you definitely make a good point. They're similar for sure.
Yeah.
I do like how the Legion had the really awesome 80s horror blood take.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
They give that a step up over Destroy, because I don't think that was in that movie.
Nope.
And I like Destroy too. I gave it a 5. So. But this movie, like, there was always something that kept me like interested in it, no matter what they were doing. Like, in these movies, you just have to kind of accept that there's going to be like a second to third act, a little bit of a lull.
Yeah.
But then the third act is going to be fun. Whereas this movie kind of did the same thing, and I'm jumping way ahead here. But once the Legion do show up, it's pretty interesting because they look weird. They look like triangle crabs, and it almost reminded me, if you've ever seen Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Yeah.
They almost remind me of them.
They're the good legions, dead legion. Do you want to know more?
I was just about to say that. But they kind of remind me of that, and I think that came out in 97, 98 maybe.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
So similar time. But like I said earlier, when they first show up, there's like a scene where it looks so terrible, but they're like charging ahead at the train, so it's like you need it in there. But then once they get out into the world and they're like fighting Gamera, I'm like, oh, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in a monster movie, because instead of a monster against a monster, you're getting a monster against a bunch of little ones. And unlike in Megagyrus, where Godzilla is just blasting them with ease, like
they overwhelm Gamera.
They take them down.
Yeah, taking like a step back to like that train scene, because it was like, now I watched this like when it first came out.
Yeah,
and then like I just haven't watched it in like forever, and I think like rewatching it for this is like might have been like, I mean, it's got to be at least like 7-8 years since I've like last watched this movie, and I'm not a fan of jump scares. I don't do well with jump scares, and like this one had jump scares in the train scene where it's like the triangle eye pops up like out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit. But also it was a fun jump scare. I enjoyed that. But then yeah, like the blood take that you referenced, it was like they're attacking a train and everyone just kind of hears this commotion coming from the front of the cab, and then it's like it cuts to the scene where it's like, it's like a bunch of spectators looking into the conductor's window. His hand goes up, and then just like a big splatter of blood across, and I forgot all about that. And I was like, that was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I was very amused by the scene, because the whole time I'm like, oh, close the window, you fucking idiot. I'm like, that's how he's going to get in. And then he just like sort of just like blasts the glass away. I was like, oh, you're good, dude. Never mind.
Yeah.
My bad. And
it's
I
like,
was in the wrong.
That'll like train attack, and it's like, again, seeing like old cell phones from 1996.
Oh, that's not the only technology that you see. You get the old desktop computers. Oh, it was all over the first couple of minutes of that movie. I was just like, give me this nice period piece here.
Which like that, like, obviously these movies, they have like old technology and stuff, but like this is almost a plot point in a way, so it's kind of like they're focusing on it like a little bit more. And I was like, this is like, it's like they're on like old school like America Online trying to find Asagi from the first movie as like the girl who can talk to Gamera, and they're like, oh, like I don't know, there's some like clumsy scenes where it's like you're just like, oh, click on this and see what it does.
Yeah.
Oh no, we lost the website. Oh shit.
There was a part at the beginning of the movie where he's like, I don't know, the computer won't work anymore. I was like, it's a pop up.
So innocent.
I know the guy who invented pop-ups really regrets it. Nice mic bump there.
That was a mic pop into my chin.
I'm not editing that out.
No, that stays. That was a pop-up, all right. But yes, like when you said like everything kind of keeps you interested, that was like the one serious point that I was going to make with like Kaneko directing this, and then GMK. Like I'm kind of watching this going like, oh yeah, like he's really good at making human characters interesting and compelling and good.
Well, just interesting enough to keep the story going, and not really like he doesn't define them like overly well, which is fine. Like you don't need an overly defined character. It's almost better if you don't. That way, people can sort of insert their own personalities into that character. So sometimes it's a benefit for a movie. I kind of feel like this is no different. Like you're getting a movie with several characters that you keep an eye on. No one's really a main character, so to speak.
Right.
So it's better to keep them loosely defined, like you know what their motivations are, and you know what makes them tick. But that's about it. You don't know their personalities overly well. Yeah,
I think but it still works. Is like I remember going like even like little things like when the Legion attack a like warehouse with a bunch of Kirin beer.
Yeah.
And the reporter the scientist character, she shows up and she goes, "What a waste of good beer," and she's like, actually kind of like emotive, and I go, God, like the 90s Godzilla movies are just filled with like cardboard human characters, and it's like actually nice to like see some personality like in a 90s kaiju movie, because like outside of Mickey Sagusa, most of them are just like cardboard. But it's like I think we'll see like.
Well, not the guy from Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, like the cyborg guy, because he's not cardboard, he's metal. Womp womp. Anyway.
Would you be serious? But I think we'll see when we watch Gamera 3 after this, that like me already kind of having like the experience of seeing that movie a bunch of times, like when Kaneko is much more hands-on, like the next movie feels very GMK.
Okay.
Like, and I feel like with this one, it's like starting to get there. Like it's like
you just have the girl who can like communicate with Godzilla, or not Godzilla, excuse me, Gamera.
Yeah,
Asagi.
Asagi, yeah.
And they brought back her point where it's like it's not just telepathy, like she can feel Gamera's pain too. So it's like a physical bond too. It's not just metaphysical. And I just really like that. Like you can have a little mysticism in your movie.
She's she's definitely the anchor, like the human anchor of the children. But I kind of forgot. I thought she had a bigger role in this movie.
No, it's very small.
Yeah, and she's like a bit part in this movie, which again will not be the case in the next movie. But
she had a bigger role in the first movie, so it's okay that she has a small role in this one. Because it's a completely different movie, so it doesn't really warrant her to be overly involved. Like she's there with all the children who are sad that Gamera's down and out right now. They're sad that their hero is Raph in a tub in Turtles 1.
Gamera is Raphael in the tub for a good chunk of this movie.
And that's why I wanted to make that reference at the beginning of this show.
But yeah, I guess as we kind of segue to like that part of the movie where Gamera does show up and start fighting with the Legion more often, like, I mean, I guess to put a bow on that point is like, I think we both agree, like, interesting human characters to keep the plot going in between jump scares that scared me, startled me, and
I was not scared.
Blood splatter. Well,
I want that to be on the record.
You're a tougher boy than I.
I like the horror genre. It's fun,
But when things pop up, I jump.
I mean, sure, we all flinch a little bit, but that's the point of them, is to get an emotional response out of you. But I did not for the eyes in this one. I played too much Resident Evil 2 for that.
All right, you win. So we get to you kind of started talking about it. We get to like Gamera initially gets kind of overwhelmed by the younger Legion.
Well, first he kind of destroys part of the city a little bit.
Oh, listen, it was evacuated. They made it very clear to let you know it was evacuated.
Yeah, they went through the newspaper snippets after that. But
did you also catch some of the newspaper snippets? For some reason, said I actually wrote it down in my notes because it made me laugh when I saw it, because I was wondering if it was like some very topical reference. But it said impact on the economy should be limited. And I was like, what?
Like one of those cities is gone. It's not there anymore.
It's Sapporo. Was it? Wait, is it
no,
Sapporo
it's not Sapporo.
It's
they were worried about Sapporo because it was
right.
It was another S city. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
It was SE something. I forget.
I can't remember either.
I watched it yesterday afternoon, so I apologize for not remembering the city that was destroyed. But there was a city that was destroyed. So they said Sapporo could be next, and so they were very worried about that. And they make fun beer to drink. So.
And that's like the most northern part of Japan. That's like the skiing part of the country.
That's where I'd like to go then.
Yeah,
I like to ski.
Yeah,
like literal ski.
I'd like to go there. I've been to Japan. I haven't been there though. But I was like the complete opposite end of Japan.
I think if I went there, I'd have to go to Tokyo first, just to visit the Tokyo Dome and Kurikan Hall.
And that's it. Call it a night.
No, I'd have to go to Fridays too.
Okay. But
this is my Graceland.
But so we get the Queen Legion, which I don't know. I think that's like an awesome design. The Queen Legion.
Everything in this movie I thought was designed well.
Yeah.
Even Gamera with his fins.
Yes, the flippers while he's flying for no explanation whatsoever.
They just retract in and then they're never seen again.
Yep. You don't see him before this movie. You don't see him after this movie. Spoiler. So I'm kind of like, why were they there?
But it was cool.
I remember they released.
Relax, Chris. It's the 90s.
I remember they released a lot of merchandise with those flippers. So maybe that had something to do with it. But no, I thought Gamera always looks great. Gamera in the 90s looks like incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Even the miniatures they use, like for the most part, are very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like a house with a deck on it that got destroyed, and I was like, that was a convincing shot. That was really good. There was one right before it that I was just kind of like, you know. That's how it goes sometimes.
But then the house with the deck, that got
the house with the deck, I was like, that looked very good.
Look at that farmer's porch.
Yeah. No, legit. I was just like, hey, convinced me.
So Gamera does the job in the first encounter.
That's how you build up your enemy.
Yes.
He didn't do the job. He just got attacked from behind.
So much of this trilogy, at the end of the day, ultimately centers around like the Gamera and Gauss feud, even like when Gamera is not fighting Gauss. And it was nice, like in this movie, that like the Legion are completely unrelated to Earth.
Yes.
They're just like parasites that like land on Earth, and like they just like whip Gamera's ass for like a good chunk of the movie. And it's like, we don't give a shit about your Gauss problem. Yeah. Like, we're your problem now. Look at us. We're the problem now.
Nice. Yeah.
For those who were not sitting in this room, I did the "look at me, I'm the captain now" hand motion. For that.
Joke explained.
Yes.
Welcome to my world.
I wanted people to take part in that. So, and yeah, they like just whip Gamera's ass, and it's like they blow up Legion's seed blows up the city.
Yes.
Gamera is encased in like ash and death. And like that's how he stays for like the next chunk of the movie
for a long time. Yeah. Not like too long. I would say this is like the second act going into the third act, where it's like Gamera might be dead.
Yeah.
And all the kids are like hoping, and that's when the girl comes through, and she's like, everyone else is very sad, and she's just like staring intently at him. And I'm just like, she knows what's up.
Yeah, I feel like this is very much like it. Like I forgot how much this movie focuses on Legion, and Gamera is almost like a background character to this movie, which I was like kind of a wild take. I mean, it works because Legion, I think, is the invasion of Legion is pretty interesting. Like,
I don't mind when you do that when the bad monster that's getting all the attention is effective, and this movie did it.
Yeah.
So
Legion is a very credible threat.
Yeah.
Cool looking threat. That like they do a really good job of going like, oh, Legion's gonna plant its seed like in all these different cities, and
I do have a question for you though. That I'm thinking about it. When the guy quotes the Bible, we were watching the English dub version. Is that a direct quote, or is that like just a changing of the story just to make it more?
No, I watched the subtitle version. It's the same.
Okay.
Which, granted, I don't think it's a dub title, but no, I think that was always him randomly just
quoting the Bible.
Yeah, just quoting the Bible.
Because they did the thing where they quote the verse afterwards, and I was just like, how do you know that?
Oh, I think in the Japanese dub it just ends with it's like the story of Jesus taking the man who's possessed by like 1,000 demons, and he goes, "What's your name?" He goes,
"I am
Legion, for we are many." And that's in the Japanese version. That's where it ends.
Okay, all right.
Do they say more in the?
He quotes the verse. He's like Matthew 2:17 or something like that. I'm just
I don't actually don't remember if they did that in the Japanese version. But what I was gonna say is like, 'cause the way that story wraps up is that Jesus exercises them, but they say like, hey, like, please don't like send us back to the abyss. Can you like cast us into that herd of pigs over there instead? And all those demons then possess a herd of pigs, but then they run off a cliff and drown in the ocean. If you wanted to know how that ends.
And according to Catholic theology, suicide is a sin, so they wound up back in hell. All right, good. Yeah. Jesus was probably like, yeah, no problem.
Gotcha, fam. So that was just kind of like, I was like, why is that guy just kind of looking at that going, I'm just going to say that right now. That's what I'm going to do.
Hey, it was cool. So I'm not against quoting the Bible.
It was just funny.
I think quoting the Bible is fine, but when you take it to the next step and you can say what verse it is and like what book it's from, fuck you.
Well, on that note,
not really, but
on that note, you referenced it. Asagi is with all the children, praying over ashed up, encased Gamera, and Gamera says, Gamera 316 says, "I'm going to get some new powers and come kick your ass."
Oh, so when he flies into the fight,
So, well, first it's just like, well, apparently we just, pray over Gamera. He's going to absorb like all this life force from the planet.
maybe he's one of the characters in Godzilla Run. Have you got that far?
No, I guess not. I guess it's all built to. They're like, oh, thank God, somewhere in some island, a bunch of people were praying to their kaiju to win like 100 races and to rejuvenate Gamera. So
maybe those kids were paying some money to make it happen.
That was the tie-in comic that we didn't get. But yeah, so that like, but yes, the best scene of the whole trilogy, Gamera power sliding into that fight with Legion and just like shooting those fireballs also look awesome in the Gamera trilogy. They look so good. They look like they have weight. They look like they have impact. I love it. He power slides in and just spits out those fireballs, and I was like, so good.
Yep.
So good.
One of the highlights for me was when he did that, because I was just like, oh man, that was cool.
Yeah.
That's how you make an entrance.
Yep. And then
it's like Billy Gunn sliding into the ring really far.
And then we get a pretty good fight between Gamera and Legion for the next like 15, 20 minutes, whatever it goes. It's I don't know. I liked it. It was like it wasn't like Gamera came into the squash. Still had to earn it.
Yeah. And he was coming in hurt too.
No. Yeah.
So I thought that was a good. That added a nice little. It was some sizzle on that steak.
Yeah.
You knew because the girl was just like her hand was bleeding and she was like, oh,
because the jewel broke.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to be an important plot point in a movie. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
She was like, you're hurt. And she was like, it just means Godzilla's hurt too.
Gamera.
I did it again. All right, drink.
Well, that jewel was her connection to Gamera.
I know.
So maybe that's an important little plot. We'll find out. All right,
I don't believe you. I'm going to ignore everything you're saying about this.
2 weeks from now, we're recording this, and I was like, yeah, that was a red herring.
About everything.
Red herring. But I also like there was like the good subplot too, where it's like, God, I don't remember any of the characters' names outside of Asagi, but it's like that one guy like convinces the guy at the power plant or whatever it is to like set the frequency to a certain or the output to a certain level so it attracts like the smaller Legion swarm, and they have a nice like little subplot where it's like they got to kill the small Legion. Also, it's kind of like, I was like, wow, I was like, you convinced that dude to like take like a pretty big aggressive action that could really end in disaster.
Maybe
it worked.
Maybe their power grid is like Texas, like whatever, anything goes.
I don't know if that plan would have succeeded then, but
what if it meant profits?
if they shut off a couple of air conditioners, maybe that would have worked. But
you get AC or AOC.
We have a lot of Texas listeners, and we mean no offense. We're just sorry that you have a shitty power grid.
They're not going to listen if they have no power.
Again, we're sorry you have a shitty power grid. This is like the second time it happened this year.
I'm sorry,
No, good thing there's no Legion swarms going to Texas. I don't know if that plan would have worked.
By the way, Texas, fantastic state.
I've never been, but I hear very good things about it.
I've been to San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Amarillo. I went to the Double Cross Ranch.
I was gonna say you've been to Double Cross. But I did like how when they were doing that it's like we got one more small little triangle crab trying to attack the human characters, and then what's his face just like unloads like an entire clip into it.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, that was good. That was very good.
It was like the in the horror movie where the monster comes up for one last scare.
Yeah, that was that symbolized all the small Legion dying.
But I also liked how the small Legion versus Gamera was a mismatch, and then so the humans had to fight them and beat them. But then the big Legion against Gamera was eventually Gamera succeeding.
Yes, he gets a new power where he essentially absorbs again a whole shit ton of more mana from the earth, and like opens his chest and just fires this ridiculous fatality beam. I was like, I mean, I'm like laughing as I say it and calling it ridiculous, but it was like awesome.
No, it was
so good.
I liked the scene a lot. The whole fight actually was really good. We talked about how in the previous movie, like he wasn't really getting new powers, but then this one he gets new powers, and then you're like, yep, that starts the trend of how he's just whatever
Yeah.
power he needs to win.
Yeah,
he gets
that's it doesn't bother me too much. Like I kind of poke fun at it. It doesn't
Yeah.
bother me too much in Gamera because like I feel like Gamera trends more towards like having more in common with like I don't know something like a drag. Like I mean it's a kaiju movie, but it's like I'm almost like well, it's like it's kind of got like a ridiculous side to it, like Dragon Ball Z or something like that. Which I've never really watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, so maybe that reference is bad.
I know of it, but I've never really watched it either.
But it's like I kind of get the sense like when you need like a ridiculous new power to like make the plot, like you shut your mind off and you just like let it go and like be entertained by it, and like that's kind of
Kind of like the ending of Singular.
it was like Gamera could just kill Legion with fireballs, like it would have made the same amount of sense. But like, why not get the visual spectacle of him?
Legion could kind of block his fireballs too, so
That's true. That's true. But then like Gamera
this
broke
made-
off his like horns and shit like that, and I
Yeah.
figured that maybe disabled that. But yeah, why do it with fireballs when you can open up your chest and shoot the Death Star laser from your chest? I mean,
not the Death Star laser. What's the one from?
from Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Star
Star-
Killer.
It's
Is that from the
Killer, yeah.
books?
I forget. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, you're right. It remind me of not the Death Star, but that.
that way.
Yeah.
Gamera turns and goes, he's like, the last remnants of the New Republic have been wiped away.
I think the only thing that would have made it better is if like the green stuff from the beginning of the movie like went into his back and then can't like sort of like that was like the power of the sun.
Yeah. It only would have been better if Gamera just drank a giant Kirin beer.
there's like a one of those like what are they called? The water things, the water towers.
Yeah. Just takes one of those. There's just randomly one of those filled with Kirin beer.
Yeah. Well, it would be water, but it would say Kirin on it.
No, it's beer. It's beer. If he gets if he gets a Death Star laser from his chest, that water tower is gonna be filled with beer for no reason.
Oh hell yeah! All right, fair enough. You win.
And then on top of that, he grabs two of them and smashes them together like Austin.
Oh hell
and
yeah!
drinks them over. Yeah, now we're talking. Gamera's about to get rebooked in the OIWF.
It's the attitude era of Gamera.
Yeah.
Sable, get the hell out of here!
So that kind of does the movie. Fun romp.
Yeah,
Fun
really
romp.
liked it. I wouldn't call it I loved it type of movie, but I would call it a very enjoyable must-watch kaiju movie.
Agreed. I think like for me, I remember like thinking that I liked it better than Guardian of the Universe, and now that like we're kind of like rewatching these kind of close together, I think Guardian of the Universe is like more, I think it's just a much more well-rounded movie.
Yes.
But I have fond nostalgic memories like watching this movie. I remember but I always remember like Gamera was kind of like my like how there was like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis feud in the 90s between kids. Like, either you're like a Super Nintendo kid or you're a Genesis kid.
So Gamera's a Genesis?
In my mind, he was, because I was a Super Nintendo kid.
I had Genesis first, and I didn't get a Super Nintendo till '95. So from '92 to '95, I was a Sega kid.
Well, either way,
Gamer boy.
it's the opposite of what what it was for you. Because I never thought Kong is not the Genesis to the Super Nintendo. This Kong is part of the family. Kong has been in Toho movies. He's been in legendary movies. He's part of the roster.
Kong is the arcades.
He's the Godzilla and Kong. They're
Godzilla's Nintendo, Gamera's Sega, and Kong is the arcades.
Listen, Kong is as much part of the Godzilla universe as Rodan is.
At this point,
in my book, And Gamera was always especially in the 90s, when everyone's like, which, arguably at the time, they were without a doubt probably like some of the best kaiju movies that came out in years. But everyone's like, oh yeah, he's like, Gamera's the real. Because Kong, is like kind of disappeared at this point from the cinematic world.
Gamera does what Godzilla
So
don't.
that was the way Gamera and Godzilla were like talked about in the 90s. Like, granted, not on I guess we're in the beginning stages of the internet. And it's like, or the internet being readily available. And it was always the Gamera Godzilla feud of the 90s. Like, It was just
But they're two technically most of the time babyface Gamera's definitely most of the time babyface monster, but Godzilla's most of the time babyface protector monster too. There's no real reason for them to feud.
Oh, but people need to go. Who would win in a fight?
Godzilla.
But yeah, he would absolutely. Actually, Dai makes these.
Maybe Gamera gets a power that can defeat Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he's just prone to do that, right? Yeah, he's just prone to get a power, right? So, Dai is the the company that makes the Gamera movies, but actually these movies were actually distributed by Toho. But they did approach Toho in the late 90s about doing a Godzilla versus Gamera movie and settling the score once for all, and Toho said, nope, I'm not going to do it.
I can understand it because Godzilla and Gamera mean two different things. Godzilla is either like a world destroyer or a world protector, and Gamera is more of just like a kid-friendly like world protector type of thing. So they're two completely different and separate entities. So I can understand why they're apprehensive of doing it. I feel like nowadays, though, in today's world, we could get away with it and just have fun with it.
It seems odd to me because Toho.
It's definitely not something that would upset Twitter.
It seems like it seems odd to me because it seems like Toho's quest was always just to make more money. So I'm actually kind of surprised they turned it down. So I'm going to guess the money wasn't right.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I think narratively it would have made
it's not a friendship.
It's not the friend business.
Yeah,
I think narratively it would have made more sense if. I mean, it wouldn't work out. Well, actually, I don't know. If they can continue the Hesei timeline with Godzilla Jr. now being the new Godzilla, like how it is the end of Destroya, like that, I think crosses over better with the character. Because what would probably happen is like you have them fight, but then you have them fight like a greater threat at the end, like all those kind of versus movies go, which is fine. That's good. We all need that in life. you need that predictable path. It's like comfort food.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix.
Yeah, I mean, did you really want Godzilla versus Kong to end with like Godzilla killing Kong? No, you wanted them to be like chums at the end. You wanted to have a winner from their fight, and then you wanted them to be pals at the end.
You wanted it to be Lethal Weapon versus Terminator.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
It's absolutely what it is. You can't tell me Kong wasn't Riggs. He puts his shoulder back into his place to go into the final fight. That is the Riggs move.
I was just trying to wonder how RoboCop versus Terminator ended in the 90s when they did that like comic crossover, but
I never. There was the game too, but I never. I never played it.
Yeah, but so
it was one of those things where there were too many things thrown at me, and I sort of slipped through the cracks.
Yeah. I'm not going to read a RoboCop versus Terminator comic book in the 90s. Come on, we got the Clone Saga going on in Spider-Man. But so shall we rank this one?
Yeah, let's rank it. I don't know who went first last time. I'll just go first this time. Really like this movie. Enjoyable. Must see in my opinion. Solid. It's just, it doesn't have that thing that sort of kicks it over the edge and makes it that.
Yeah.
It didn't. It's a good match, not a great match. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I also gave Gamera God in the Universe a 4.
Me too.
And I'm also going to give this one a 4. With the caveat that we don't do that 4.5 bullshit, because if you do that, have a 10-point scale.
You say it, but then you have to round it up, or you say it 4.4, it doesn't quite get rounded up.
Yeah, this would be the low 4. Gamera God in the Universe would be the high 4. And but yeah, I mean, this is again like I think this is like a must see trilogy of movies, and I don't know. I'm excited for the. It's been a long time. Also been a long time since I've watched the third one.
Okay.
And
never seen it. I've seen internet reviews of it, and it's always spoken of fondly. I don't know the plot, so
yeah. I think without even though where my take will be coming from is that I will have critiques about maybe hot controversial takes about some aspects of the story. From what I remember, I can't deny that it is like. It is, but like from what I remember, it's not even close. It's like the most well done movie in the trilogy.
You could be the heel for that movie, and then I could be the heel for the next episode.
Well, it's really good, and I wonder if like now that I'm seeing it so many years later, if my problems with the story will change.
Ah,
So
it's like a Peter Jackson's King Kong type of situation.
no, no, it's not. I'll make it a point to like explain like what I didn't like about it when it first came out and how if that has held up these years later.
Sure, and I'll give my my newbie opinions on that.
Yeah, no, we said as you as the GMK boy. I mean, I also really love GMK. It's like one of my top like 7 favorite movies, but
For
I
me,
mean,
it's number 1.
yeah,
like with a bullet.
I'm really interested to see how you take the movie.
All right, yeah, I'm excited for what's the next one called?
Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris.
All right, cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah. Hey Chris. What? You get any figs?
Sure did. Also, I gotta say, doing this in person, 100 times better than
I told you.
yeah, 100 times better. I did light week, but 2 of the items I think are kind of noteworthy.
No, sure.
2 of the items are really just my own personal enjoyment. I've officially completed, as I am. What they say in Cardona on Myers podcast? Cardona is the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting. Brian Myers, Scottie Pippen. Well, you know, all due respect to the both of them, I am the Larry Bird of Godzilla bag clip collectors.
Am I the Kevin McHale of Godzilla collecting?
I was just qualifying it as bag clips, but I would also say I'm the Larry Bird of Godzilla collecting.
Yes, and that makes me Kevin McHale.
Yeah, the Kevin McHale.
Hey, he was on Cheers, so I'm game for this.
So, well, you know, starting with the bag clips, I've completed now the Godzilla vs. Kong bag clip set. I got the actually both from the same seller on Macari. We were talking about this the other day. When Macari hits, Macari hits. Like
sometimes you like don't skip over Macari when you're looking for your thing. You got to do your eBay, and then if that's not there, you take a look at your Amazon. It's probably not going to be on Amazon. So then you never ignore the Macari. You always go
PSA,
there.
Macari is a great auction app, which also I only heard about because Cardona and Myers talked about the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. But they're right. It hits sometimes. And so from the same seller, I got the 2. So I was missing the 2 chases. One is like this like Mechagodzilla circular like emblem badge thing. It's like Mechagodzilla Destroyer, like whatever. Like looks like you're on like a crew with Sarazawa's kid. So I don't know. Maybe that means you wear your jacket over your shoulders, don't put your arms in your sleeves, drink brandy, and you put King Ghidorah's heads in places that shouldn't be. So maybe that's what that emblem is supposed to mean. I don't know. But then also we got the Mechagodzilla bag clip figure, and just like all the other, especially like the later runs of these bag clips. Oh god, the detail on the front and the back is just it's incredible. I don't have it here in front of me, but it's just like it's a great looking little Mechagodzilla rubbery keychain thing. Great red spines going down the back. Like I get like a lot of people aren't going to get this reference, or I don't know, maybe they will. I don't know, but like I keep comparing him to like the micro brawlers that like are big in the wrestling world, and like those
look a lot alike.
Yeah, they look a lot alike, and the same sort of like art style.
Yeah,
and that detail level, like God, it's like that detail level is the micro brawlers are more.
They're slightly bigger too, though. But
they're a little bit bigger. They're more detailed. The micro brawlers, like they limit most of them to like 500 pieces a run, whereas these are a little bit more mass produced. But still, it's like a lot of detail for what they are. I love these things, and so now I'm back to only needing. So there was a Godzilla 2014 set that came out in 2016, and I need the 2 chases and a King Ghidorah variant from that, and I will have every bag clip figure made by Monogram. I'll have all the sets complete. but the 3 that I need are also the 3 hardest to find. So that is they're not pricey. If they show up, they're not pricey.
Okay, that's
but
good.
it's like, but they're just hard to find. Because they just don't come up in auction mods. Like one of the chases came up, but it had like a broken tail, and I didn't even know how you could even break the tail of one of these things. It's like they're like solid compact rubber. I just don't know how. I was like, what the hell did you do to do that? And I don't know. Maybe I don't want to buy from you because I don't know. Maybe you put a bomb in the fucking thing. I don't know. But so that was the.
Would you be serious?
So when we alternate, so I got that. What did you get? And then we'll go back to me.
Oh well, I was at our local Target. As
Oh, is that Italian?
yeah, it'd be France. French, and I picked up this Godzilla Funko Pop, one number 1017, part of the Godzilla vs. Kong collection. And I'm not a Funko Pop collector. I had 3, now I have 4. But
three wrestlers, and now your first Godzilla.
Yeah.
To clarify.
And I saw it at the store, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it."
Yep.
Because it was cheap enough, and I mean, these are like $9 a piece, so cheaper than a wrestling figure. And I was already there for Godzilla stuff anyway, and we're gonna snake draft it, and I just got the last pick, so I'm gonna go and do my next pick after this. But for what it is, it's fine. Like I haven't taken it out of the box yet. I don't think I'm gonna, but it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It gave me something to talk about for this segment.
So you have the standard Godzilla, not the Heat Ray one, not the Hong Kong City, or they call it like Neon Light City or something like that.
I mean, obviously I'd prefer that one, but I just got the standard one because it was all they had. There was one there, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna get this." So I picked this up, and no regrets.
No remorse.
I was doing the stickers commercial.
Oh.
So it looks like on the back it says it has a 10-inch Godzilla.
Yeah.
And a 10-inch Kong. This one, and then there's the Heat Ray Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, Battle Ready Kong, Kong with Battle Axe, and then Battle Scarred Kong. So
yeah. So I have the keychain version that, well, it doesn't closely. It's not the same mold as like that. It's pretty close to like that Godzilla that you have, and that's officially the first Funko Pop thing that I've ever owned. But yeah, this one's cool. I feel like if I saw this out, I'd probably buy these.
They're cheap enough to where, what would you rather have, the $9 or a Godzilla figure?
I mean, is it $9? I'm investing in MGF coin.
Well, I mean, at this point, you could probably.
I could double my money now.
You could cash out a little bit of your winnings and buy one of these pops for free.
I guess as a callback to the beginning of the recording of this episode, we have, in the time we've recorded this episode, we have both doubled our money that we invested in MGF coin. So we'll see how well that holds when we drop this episode in a few days.
Yeah.
But
for now, suck it, pores. But that gets to my next purchase. For
those who don't watch wrestling, by the way, that is what MGF says to people. So yeah. I want to make it clear for the people who don't watch wrestling.
I feel like they'll forgive me. Yeah. Whatever. But I went to the Target because Godzilla vs. Kong came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I was like, yeah, I'll go scoop that up. And so I did. And I'm glad I did because that movie is fantastic. Great action movie.
I actually have not bought that on Blu-ray yet, and I realize this kind of kicks into like the weird thing about me where it's like...
But it has the commentary track on it from Adam Wingard.
Yeah, I heard all about that on Twitter this week. But for whatever reason, like I don't like day one buy like Blu-rays or I don't know. Maybe it's
I bought it day 2.
Maybe it's a little weird, like when like that Showa Godzilla like DVD or Blu-ray set came out. Like I don't know, like I'm one of those types of like it's like I don't feel like super compelled to like buy like every time I get a new version of a Godzilla movie comes out Blu-ray or DVD. Like I just don't really feel compelled to like go and buy them. I don't know. It's a little weird because that's like essentially the heart and soul of like me being a Godzilla fan, right? Is the movies, but it's like.
But if you already own them on some form of physical media, then what do you really need it for?
I get like so attached to like whatever version it is that I've already been like watching a bunch.
Yeah.
That it's like I don't feel the need to replace it. So I get like I have so many Godzilla movies that I bought as like bootlegs like I didn't replace when they got like official releases because like I don't know, it's like the bootlegs what I watched. I don't know. It's just I always think it's a little like weird. Like other people like who I talk to who are collectors, they're like, oh, did you get like this version and that version and that version as it came out? And I was like, no, I got the one that I watched, and I just keep watching that one because like I don't know, that's how I picture it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
So.
Is it Bones Jackson who is asking you this?
He was one, but it's not just him. But there's others. But so I will like. I mean, it took me like years to get Godzilla 2014 on any sort of medium because I was just like, oh, well, I want to watch it. It's like on HBO Max. I'll just watch it on that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'm a little weird in that front.
And even still, I probably won't even watch it.
But I mean, listen, as a collector, I need to have it represented.
Sure.
So. But I liked it a little bit more than you. I don't like it a lot, but
no, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they had a regular DVD version. They had the version I got, which is just the regular Blu-ray, and they had the 4K Ultra Blu-ray, which I don't have any way to show that, so I didn't bother. But then they also had one other piece there. It was a Skull Island, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong 3-feature Blu-ray. And I was like, great idea. Already have King of the Monsters. I'm going to pass.
I might actually get that one, because I actually don't have Skull Island. So...
yeah, it's I have King of the Monsters on Blu-ray, and it's probably still on HBO Max. I don't know. But even if it's not, I still have it on Blu-ray, so it's fine. Like,
yeah.
I would probably just get, at this point, take a gander at eBay or Mercari and see if maybe one of those Blu-rays is up there for like $5-10 and just grab that instead. I do like the triple feature Godzilla movies. Don't get me wrong. I have the GMK King Ghidorah from the 90s and Mothra from the 90s triple feature disc thing that they have, and that was a wise purchase.
Yeah, I'm not really big on like Blu-ray, DVD special features and stuff. Like I don't really care too much about it. I pretty much just want to see the movie.
Yeah,
like.
But this, I feel like we should review the commentary.
I don't know. I mean, it's it sounds like it's really controversial, and you know, I just enjoyed the movie. I just thought it was neat.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a good time. It was a fun, dumb action movie.
The only like DVD, because like so the original version of like Gojira. It's Gojira, you morons. So like the original 54 Godzilla got a really good DVD release. And then like it was like a couple years later it got like a definitive like Blu-ray release. But like and I have both. But the DVD one like did it right. Like it has like the original 54 Japanese movie, it has Godzilla King of the Monsters. But then it just has like, it doesn't have like a it might have a commentary track, but either way it has like a documentary track. And I was like, okay, well, this I like because like I'm getting a documentary. I'm not just getting like, I don't know. I don't really care too much about getting like trailers and
I don't, yeah.
And like, you know, even like behind the scenes, like featurettes, like I just don't like really watch those. Like it doesn't do it for me. So I don't really.
If I like the movie enough, I'll take a look at them. But like typically, like the only two DVDs that I've really got into the behind the scenes features on were.
I'm gonna guess I own one of them, and I'm gonna say I also got into it for the same reason.
The Blade Runner.
Yes, because it had the Blood Runner documentary on it.
Yeah. So that, and then there was like the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition DVD.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is one of my favorite movies ever. I gotta watch this.
Yeah. The other DVD that I have like that, and then I will segue into my purchases, is I have a definitive anniversary edition. I forget what year, how many years it is, but Breakfast at Tiffany's, because I love that movie. So anyway, I will...
It's weird you really like that movie. It's not weird, but you know, it's not on. It's something kind of out of left field for you.
You know, you see it in the right alcohol lubricated state when you are in an odd place in your life when you're a lot younger. You know, maybe it's on certain levels, and then you turn to like it.
You hit a lot of fucking chords there for me, and then you said a lot younger, and I was like, no.
But so anyway, my main event purchases of the of this podcast period are, and I brought them over here, trying to keep my mouth in front of the mic as I do this, so that we could discuss them. Was I got the now very elusive Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla the Ride figures. So for background, I forget which theme park it is, but they are doing like kind of like a, I don't know, IMAX mom, whatever you want to call it, interactive ride where essentially a King Ghidorah with a beak and hands essentially on his wings.
It looks like they took the Showa era King Ghidorah and then the legendary King Ghidorah and sort of combined them into one thing, and then we're like, needs hands.
I kind of feel like that's what both of these designs.
Yeah.
Well, Godzilla's a little bit. Well, we'll get back to Godzilla, but like, yeah, King Ghidorah is very legendary inspired. Actually, kind of reminds me of some of the designs in that like Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. But then, yes, they said
the
Ghidorah,
heads are definitely legendary.
Oh yeah, with the beak.
Yeah,
with the dragon beak thing. And they said, you know what? You know what Ghidorah needs? Let's make him the ultimate Ghidorah weapon. We'll give him hands.
Yep.
And not only does he have hands, as I keep pointing out, he's got biceps and triceps to go with those hands.
He shot some gas in his ass, and he's going up north to Vince.
I think he's been hanging out with Trendmasters figures a little bit. And he's like, also kind of get like, he's got like abs going on too. It's like almost like the wings almost have muscles.
Doesn't skip leg day either.
So okay, so talking about Godzilla the Ride, right? Like it's like a 6-minute thing. You can easily find it on YouTube. Look for Godzilla the Ride, and there's pretty good footage of the entire ride up there. I don't really know how I feel about King Ghidorah having hands and kind of crawling around and stuff, fine. But it's like, at first I was like, oh, that's a pretty wild take. But then once I got the figure, I was like, this is a pretty sweet figure.
Yeah.
And this now continues to grow. My recent Godzilla the Ride or various rides collection, because I also have the Shin King Ghidorah from the Godzilla against Evangelion crossover. Now, this does not beat that. I think that figure is still, and that design, I think, is just fucking incredible. But this is growing on me for how ridiculous it is.
I think the hands are a non-issue for me. I like how jacked up he is. He looks like he could sock a few dingers. He's
kind of a bad. You've seen the ride, but yeah,
that looks really fun.
Spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers about Godzilla the Ride, go buy some MGF coin and come back. And but like he whips the shit out of Rodan in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is it's pretty good. And then Godzilla comes along. And we'll shift over to the Godzilla figure now. This has to be one of the best movie monsters series figures they made in I was gonna say years, but I mean,
no, it's an awesome design.
It might be ever. I don't know.
He's a thick boy.
Yeah, from a design standpoint, you get like kind of like legendary mixed with like 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much it. I mean, they pretty much mashed up legendary in the 90s style Godzilla together.
I like both of those designs, so I have no problem with it.
Yeah, he's like very thick. He's got a wide shoulder, wide chest, wide abdomen.
He definitely has like the barrel chest thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, which feels, but it's like barrel chested, like 90s style, like almost like 91 ish, kind of, but a little bit less defined. Like, and there's like splattering of like green on this thing, like very subtly, super fucking detailed, painted really well. And then like in the Godzilla the Ride, thing, Bob, he like throws Ghidorah around like a little bit. Ghidorah throws him around a little bit, and then Godzilla just like blasts a hole in his like chest with his atomic ray, and I was like, oh shit, well this Godzilla plays for keeps, and this is like a pretty sweet figure. The problem now though is that they were I don't know if they're still exclusive to the park that was doing this ride, but they went to the Godzilla store in Japan, so I got these through Zen Market, which is like essentially a company that goes, buys them at the store and then ships them to you.
Yeah.
And or they have it shipped to them and then they ship to you. and but they were only going to be in retailers outside of that, or just maybe in general for like 13 days in June. And so, but I mean, you're already seeing like the aftermarket price, and like that Godzilla now is like almost $200 now on eBay. And,
I need to invest more in MJF coin.
I mean, I got these for retail price because like Zen Market like only takes like they only attach like a couple dollar, like it's like a $3 fee for like each item.
Mm-hmm.
So like they don't actually like make a lot off of it. So it's like, these are like normally $20 figures. I think I ended up getting both. Like if you break it down across like shipping, I mean, I got the whole thing for like $120. These two figures. That includes shipping. They got here in 3 days from FedEx. You don't have to pay for that faster shipping. Like you can save a lot of money. So I got these things essentially slightly above market with shipping. So
I think the Ghidorah figure is one of the better ones I've seen. It's nothing like the Jax figure, I'll say that. So like from the photos, I thought it looked a lot like the Jax figure, just a slightly different design. It looks nothing like it. It looks like a Bandai figure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also, the Godzilla figure, very good.
Yeah, that design is incredible.
Seeing it in person, I'm like, do I regret missing out on these? No, because I don't want to spend that much money on Godzilla figures, but they look very good.
Yeah, I was not originally planning to buy the Ghidorah figure because I was a little meh on the design, but then once I got it in person, I was like, no, I was glad I have it. Plus, I want the set.
Yeah,
and plus, like I can say, well, actually, technically, I'm missing the Shin Godzilla figure that was exclusive to Universal Japan that was doing the Godzilla Evangelion crossover with Shin King Ghidorah. But it's just a repaint of the same Bandai Shin Godzilla figure.
Okay.
So I didn't really feel the need to go and buy that.
You have the base figure, so you're safe.
And I have like a Shin Godzilla store exclusive where he's like opening his mouth to like fire the beam. And I think that is, I was almost going to say, like, I think this Godzilla the Ride was like the best movie monster series figure they've made.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought back to like that Godzilla store exclusive heavy paint Shin Godzilla that I have, and I go like, nah, that's gonna be a hard one to top because like it's so colorful, it's so well done. So and that was my purchases.
You got some good stuff. You finished off an entire series of your bag clips, and you got two valuable figures.
Yep.
Good haul.
Well, they ain't worth any MJF coin if I don't sell them. So.
No, I mean you're not going to sell these. I did it again. Welcome to the OIWF portion of the podcast. We keep it at the end with all our other secrets.
Are you back to being a Commissioner Smooth?
Oh no, I'm Commissioner Cass now.
You're Commissioner Cass?
I feel like it should be Commissioner Clink though. I think that'd be funnier.
Because you cracked the White Claw?
Yeah.
Oh, is this like an F-Troop reference?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'll just be Commissioner Cass from now on because we're rebranding here. I'm an investor in MJF coin, and so that puts me. I'm here now, Chris. I'm up here. I'm up here with the stars.
Well, I'm still Commissioner Slick.
All right.
So the purpose of this. So I feel like we've almost got. I'm not going to call it different brands, but we do have titles that are both kind of falling under both different co-owners, co-commissioners, whatever you want to call us.
Yeah.
Kind of falling under our wheelhouse with the world title kind of being shared amongst us. But what is going on? What was going on? We can work that out. What is going on in the Interkaijunental the workhorse title. What is going on with the Intercontinental title this week?
The Dark Order kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Gigan came back, yo. All right, I'm done. It was supposed to be GMK defending the title against Dandai Mecha King Ghidorah and the Dark Order, both what we thought were two separate factions of the Dark Order, or the Cursed Order.
It seemed like there was trouble. It seemed like there was trouble with the Cursed Order in their house.
All right.
Do you want to do that over?
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. So the Cursed Order, dude, brother, they came in and they totally ruined the match of GMK versus Dandai Mecha King Ghidorah. Completely ruined it. They didn't even let it happen. The lights went out and that cool music played, and then they just attacked. And Gigan staking his claim to the Intercontinental Championship now. So Playmates Gigan gunning for NECA GMK, and I think this is his biggest threat yet. But it also looked like they were united, but were they? There was a moment where it looked like Kong might have been going for Playmates Gigan, but it looked like Hong Kong Godzilla backed him off and said, no.
Now, have you heard anything in the dirt sheets, on the internet, on the OIWF Twitter, anything about any sort of dissension in the ranks? I mean, because it looked like they were coming apart in the Cursed Order. Have you heard anything about that? Well, it looked
like they were gathering around a new leader because Gigan was missing. It looked like they were all rallying around Hong Kong Godzilla, but it looks like Hong Kong Godzilla is sort of rallying behind Playmates Gigan.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like, for whatever was happening, Hong Kong Godzilla is allowing the Cursed Order to stay stronger united right now.
Okay. So maybe Playmates Gigan came back, got the house in order, got him refocused.
I think when Playmates Gigan did finally return, he returned to a house he pretty much left in disorder.
Yeah.
And Hong Kong Godzilla was maybe keeping the crew together for that time.
Yeah.
And now he is sworn fealty to Playmates Gigan.
Maybe. So it sounds like there's no Kyrie Irvings in this house.
No.
It's only Rondos and Kevin Garnett.
It's all Kembas.
It's all Kemba Wakas. I don't know if that plays out with how Kemba's going to have an off season. But
why? What's going on? What have you heard? He's a Celtic, right?
Okay. Well, if the Cursed Order has any Kemba Walkers, then maybe we are going to get two factions.
But no, they're united. It's one house. It's one Cursed Order, and it looks like next up this coming
full
week.
disclosure, we took a big break. We talked a lot of Celtics during that break, so we're dropping a lot of.
Was this or MJF coins? So pick your poison. But it looks like this coming week, after this podcast airs, it will be NECA GMK defending the Intercontinental title against Playmates Gigan. It looks like Dandai Mecha King Ghidorah may have suffered some sort of injury, keeping him out of action for a little bit when he was dumped out to the outside. He might have twisted an ankle on the curb after he slapped a car. I watched a person do that.
Is he going to actually come back maybe with a more mechanical ankle
maybe,
in the near future?
If he can't fix it, if it doesn't heal, then mechanical surgery is a must. But that's all I got for the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, that'll be an interesting matchup. Playmates Gigan, hasn't quite been the same since he lost the OIWF World Championship.
Vanished without a trace.
Yeah.
So is Shin Godzilla. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, I mean, could all these people be playing into this very, very hotly contested intercontinental scene? Kind of like the East in the NBA. But I don't really know where I was going with that. But
it made me pop. So.
It was gonna somehow end with a dump on the Brooklyn Nets, but whatever. But anyways, on the on the other end of the island, we had two big developments, starting with the simpler one, or the more straightforward one. Trendmasters of the Universe, Gigan, Biolante. They again held off another challenger in the Super Mecha Bros, which was Bandai, Mechagodzilla, and Bandai Kiryu, who, if you remember, pinned them cleanly just an episode and a half or two ago. And they have the return match, but, Gigan hit his signature hook lariat out of nowhere. And once again, reasserting their dominance over the OIWS tag team division. It's going to take a big team to wrangle those titles away.
Super Mecha Bros were the better team a few nights ago. And then,
But when the lights are on bright,
that's how it goes in the crazy world of professional wrestling.
That's how it goes in the Eastern Conference semifinals. When the lights are on bright, you let the Brooklyn Nets beat you. But anyway, so not bitter. But anyway,
I am.
The Celtics will rise again.
We'll be fine.
Yeah. The OIWF always looking for its own Jason Tatum, but on the and anyway, but on the world title scene, quite a development. Bandai, how topical. 90s Gamera, Bandai 90s Gamera taking on newcomer Hotshot Trendmasters Varan. They met to decide new number one contender to Bandai Titanosaurus's OIWF World Title. We got a time limit draw, classic Broadway, if you will. And Bandai Titanosaurus came out, as you saw on Twitter, and said, "I'm hardcore. I'll take them both."
Just like Karrion Kross.
And so that means, following this recording, we will be getting that triple threat match for that title. And we will get it because I've already done the figure photography for it. So all I have to do is just tweet it after this episode comes out, which you can follow along with the OIWF on Odo Island Pod on Twitter.
Two big title matches this week. We got the OIWF World Championship, and then we have the Intercontinental Championship later in the week.
Yeah, and I think after this, then on this end of the island, I think some sites will return to the Mid Atlantic Division, which currently is being held right now by Mini, Bandai, Shin Godzilla, hotly contested division. We'll have to see where that goes. But
actually, one last announcement: we will be having a big match in the Mid Atlantic Division on this end of the island.
No,
it'll be Godzilla Earth once again challenging anybody in a steel cage match. Open challenge. Godzilla Earth still stewing over his unwin streak, his reverse winning streak in cage matches here.
He's
in
the Brian Myers, or he's the Kurt Hawkins, more accurately, of the Mid Atlantic Division. So
maybe this will be his every dog is his day. Maybe he's the dog of the Mid Atlantic Division.
Maybe. So that big things always happen in the OIWF. I don't know who actually listens to these segments, but I always appreciate that people enjoy this shit on Twitter. I think it's expanded beyond an audience of 2 on Twitter, which is fantastic.
I think people enjoy our candor. I put the Californians up on the old screen for them. In California.
And so I think with that, I mean, there's no need to do a what are we doing next week? Because we already talked about it. We're doing Gamera 3. We're wrapping up the Hesei trilogy for Gamera.
Yep. Adrian's Revenge. Gamera 3.
Weekend at Iris's.
So that'll do it for this episode. Good time. It's been kind of a longer one this time.
That's all right,
Would you like to say anything to our audience before we leave?
I was actually trying to do something witty. I kind of lost it.
I'll say something. Keep complaining on Twitter. It doesn't bother me at all. It might bother other people, but what do you do? Get off me. Let me say it.
Jason Tatum is the future of the NBA.
Don't touch me there.